I spent entirely too long on this ridiculously cinematic B-roll. Today, the Mavic 2 Zoom, the Autel EVO go head-to-head in an epic comparison to find out which has the best compact sensor. Let the battle begin. What's up everyone, welcome back to Phones, Drones, Tech. I'm Original Dobo, and if you are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss a future video just like this. So today's video has been highly requested. I often get asked which drone I like more, the Mavic 2 Zoom or the Autel EVO. Now to do this comparison, I created a set of pillars that I'm gonna grade these drones on. There are 5 pillars that I use every time I purchase a drone, and they are as follows: build quality, camera, software, battery life, and price. Now I'm gonna rank each of these categories 1 through 10, 10 being great, 1 being not so great, and hopefully help you decide at the end of this video which is more important to you. Now we may not have a clear-cut winner at the end of this video, but hopefully you will know which one you like more by the time we're through. But before we get too far into this video, I want to give a big thanks to my sponsor and brand partner of the channel as of just a few weeks ago, DroneWorks. DroneWorks provided me the Autel EVO that we're going to be using in this video, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to complete this video. So thanks so much for them. I'll have links in the description below where you can check them out, and they also ship internationally, so if you like an EVO and you're overseas, well, you need to check out DroneWorks if you want to get your hands on one. So let's get into build quality. Now both drones are built very well. However, I think the EVO just has a slight advantage here as far as build quality goes, and it's going to still be personal preference, but I'll explain. Now, when I pick up the EVO, it feels really dense. I can't describe it as any other way. While the Mavic 2 has made great improvements over the previous generation, I still feel like the plastic is just a little bit hollow. I feel like if I hit a tree with the EVO and I hit a tree with the Zoom, I think the EVO is going to come out on top 8 out of 10 times, no doubt. Now, speaking of build quality, something that I hate about the EVO is that glossy top. Not so much the color, but that glossy top tends to get a lot of micro abrasions. I said it in a video I made, well, a couple of months ago, I think 2 months ago. But for me, it just bothers me seeing all those little scratches. It doesn't affect the way the drone performs, and it may not bother you whatsoever. But that's something I do like about the Zoom, is the fact that the top of it is like that matte gray finish. Talking a little bit more about the build quality, I do prefer the way the EVO unfolds. The legs in the rear come out how you would want them to. It's just straight out, and folding them back in is a simple fold in. While the Mavic is very much still the same as the way it was the first one, and just like on the Air, they fold down and out, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. Talking about how the battery pops in and out of this drone is another thing. The EVO requires 2 hands to get a battery in and out. It's just inevitable. While the Mavic 2 Zoom is a one-handed battery in and out all day long, which I really do like. Now, many would be like, well, it's better to have a battery in a little bit more secure. Actually, the way the position of the Mavic 2 battery situates, it's actually okay. It's not gonna go anywhere, and you get a nice little satisfying click on both, but I just prefer the way the Mavic 2 locks in place. I just think it's easier. Talking about SD card slots, I do like the Mavic's SD card slot just a little bit more, just because I don't have to unfold it to get to that SD card, and the material that they use to cover the slot is a little bit more forgiving on your thumbnail. Other than that, both of them are pretty solid. Gimbal wise, both have really robust gimbals. I really can't declare one a winner over the other, but overall build quality, I definitely prefer the EVO's build over the Zoom. Moving over to software, this is a tricky one because software is really dependent on how long it's been in development, and DJI really does have an edge here simply because they've been doing this for a long time. And if you didn't notice or didn't know anything about Autel, they recently scrapped their old application from the X-Star and created a brand new one called the Explorer app. Both applications are really great. I do think Autel's is a little bit more thoughtful and intuitive for a beginning user. Now, if you've been around the scene for a while and have been using and used to DJI, then you'll be happy with the Go 4. Both offer similar what do they call that? Similar, if you get something. Both offer similar features and have intelligent flight modes. DJI flight modes are just really leaps and bounds better, but again, the EVO is still just a baby as far as software goes, so as they start developing, things will change. But if I had to give the nod in any one direction, I'm going to have to give the nod to DJI for software. Let's talk about battery life. Now, both of these drones sport an impressive 30 minutes, and actually the Zoom sports 31 minutes. It's just one more minute. In real-time testing, and I've done a lot of tests on both the Mavic 2 and the EVO's coming in right at about 23 to 24 minutes of flight before I have to bring it to the ground. While the Zoom, I'm getting a good 26 minutes consistently out of that battery. Now, both batteries take about the same time to charge, and the chargers are pretty much what you would expect. While Mavic side of life, you can get a multi-charger direct from DJI. I haven't seen a similar offering from Autel at this point. As far as battery life goes, I'm going to have to nod to the Mavic 2. Let's talk about the camera. And again, we're not going to go through all the specifications because we'd be here all day, but these cameras are very, very similar. They're both 12 megapixel cameras, both capable of shooting in 4K. However, both have unique tricks up their sleeves. The Autel can shoot 4K 60 FPS, while the Mavic 2 Zoom has two different focal lengths. Now, for all of this testing that I've done on the camera and camera comparisons, I shot in 24 FPS on both, and for argument's sake, I'm not doing anything with the focal lengths just to try to keep it apples to apples. Now, both have the same image processor on either drone, so why the Mavic 2 doesn't shoot 60 FPS and 4K is just sort of perplexing. I think both images look really good, and it's going to boil down to personal preference as to which one you like more. Now, if we look at the EVO does have a wider field of view, while the Mavic 2 Zoom does not. And this is the same as it was on the original Mavic, so there's nothing, really earth-shattering here. As far as color profiles go, the EVO does have a true log profile, and the Mavic 2 Zoom only has decinelike. If you want a log profile, like a true professional log profile, you're probably going to need to check out the Mavic 2 Pro. And there's some great videos on that comparison between the EVO and the Mavic 2 Pro, but I just wanted to do Zoom versus EVO just because I think it's one that people want to see and want to know about. All in all, the images from both are really, really decent. I do tend to think that the EVO is a little bit on the warmer side, while the Mavic 2 is a little bit on the cooler side. Now, for these tests, I am shooting in manual. I am going to be setting the white balance to sunny on both, just to sort of see how they do. The color profile will be set to none, and I'm not going to do anything with either sharpness, saturation, or contrast on either drone. But take a look at this footage, let me know what you think. Personally, I think the video looks great on both drones, and it's really going to be hard to decide a winner here. Now, ultimately, it's going to boil down to your personal preference and taste. Do you value that higher frame rate, or do you want the different focal lengths? If you want focal lengths, you got to go zoom. If you want higher frame rates, then you're going to have to go to EVO. Now, one thing to keep in mind, because the EVO has a wider field of view, it does seem like you're further away from an object than you actually are. And while that's great, some people may want tighter landscape shots than this is actually providing. However, I am a fan of a wider angle, but I'm not going to choose a clear winner here because I think both are really fantastic and images are just sort of up to the individual user. And now we're down to that final segment, price. Let's talk about the price because it's really different on both of these drones. The Mavic 2 Zoom clocks in at $1249 at the recording of this video, while the Autel EVO is $999. So that's a pretty good swing in price, $250, providing that DJI doesn't increase the price. Autel's been pretty consistent with the price. I don't see it going up. You may see a price decrease soon, but I don't see it going up anytime. When we look at accessories for either drone, batteries for the EVO cost about $85 and batteries for the Mavic 2 Zoom cost right around $139. So with that being said, when we look at the price to performance ratio, you are really getting a lot for your money with the EVO. It lacks a little bit in software and has some minor quirks, but if you can sort of overlook the little minor quirks, I think you're getting more for your money with the EVO. However, when you look at the Zoom, you are getting a lot of features and you're getting that backend and the software and the ecosystem of DJI. But at the end of the day, I have to look at the total package and I'm going to have to lean this one to the EVO. Now, if we want to really get technical and talk about OcuSync and transmission, DJI is using OcuSync 2.0 in this, and it does make a difference as far as image and quality coming back down to the controller. Although in my testing with both of these drones, I didn't really find either transmission signal to be an issue, and I don't think you will either. The rule of thumb is you still have to be within line of sight, and line of sight is still 3 statute miles. Man, I'm getting really good at this 107 stuff. But with that being said, there are some minor nuances, but neither one of these are really perfect. So at the end of the day, you really have to decide what's more important, that $250 savings. Are you a part of the ecosystem of DJI, or are you just coming into drones for the very first time? Honestly, either one that you choose is going to be a great decision. Me personally, I still like my Zoom, but I think the EVO is the better decision here as far as a financial standpoint and overall image quality. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section after you saw this video. And let's have a conversation, a non-fanboyish conversation. So right away, Danny Fife, I don't even want to hear it from you. You're just going to calm down, simmer down, take a back seat. I'm muting you. I'll see you next time. Stay original.
What age are we? Trying to throw this change.